Damn it. And I have, you know what? It
Hi.
wouldn't be 30 Tuesday if you didn't catch me off guard. So now we're just going to make it a gimmick.
Happy 30 Tuesday.
You know, as I hear myself echo across different screens and you laugh everywhere. Um,
Oh, Nikki.
I think
What
that's
am I
it.
going to do
How
with
are
you?
you?
I'm tired. Otherwise, good. How are you?
Tired. Tired. I'm like really excited to hear in front of all our friends admit that I've accepted the fact that I need glasses. Like
Welcome
reading
to the
glasses.
team.
I just like, it's time. I can't see.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Hold on. One of you is still talking somewhere. Uh-huh. Here, talk for a minute. Stall.
Talk for a minute. Talk for a minute. Talk for a
Oh,
minute.
tell
Hey,
them about
hey,
it. Tell everybody
hey.
about our birthday party.
So, A Thousand Eyes and One turned 10 on March 1st. And because we didn't realize our anniversary was coming up or our birthday was coming up, we had nothing planned. And so we had to think of something fast. So we went and played D&D and did a table takeover. So we just invited a bunch of people we know and everybody bought tickets and we got a table. And that was really fun. And we
That
did a
was really
melee
fun.
instead of a traditional game. So that was really fun too.
Yeah, it was. We had a
It was a
blast.
good time.
We
Definitely want to do it again.
Yeah, shout out to Sarah and Greg and Bex and Stephanie for coming out to support our nerdery.
And
Um,
Rosie the DM.
and Rosie, hats off to you, Rosie. Rosie was like, "You guys know each other?" I was like, "Yeah, these guys are they're all my friends. They're gonna come. We're celebrating." She's like, "Does everybody know how to play D&D?" I was like, "Yeah, I think everybody's played." She's like, "So would you guys be into a melee where you fight against each other?" And I was like, "Fuck yes." It was the best
I
day.
loved it.
It was so fun. We were
It
so
was really fun.
ruthless, ruthless,
Yeah.
and reckless, and all the things. It was a blast. Shout out to Rosie. Shout out to Alamo and all that stuff. Um, yeah.
Tonight,
Wait,
tonight.
did you already tell me what you're drinking? Did I miss that part when I was muting the
No,
world?
no, I waited for you.
Oh,
Cups up. I'm drinking wine tonight.
Guinness.
I'm drinking Cabernet Sauvignon.
Sauvignon. Oh, how very French of you for this French film. It's actually German, but it was in Paris
Right,
and in
right.
Grasse. Yeah, I mean, all I had in my fridge was Guinness, and I was on the fence about whether or not I was going to be
Yeah, I had an open bottle of
partaking.
wine that I needed to drink before it turned to vinegar. So
Mm.
here we are.
You're like, why would I cook with this?
Exactly.
Who cooks with
Exactly.
wine? Yeah, I'm actually really, really, really excited to talk about this movie, which is also one of my favorite books.
Oh, I
Surprise,
didn't know it was a
surprise.
book.
Oh yeah, girl, it's a book.
Oh,
It's a book by German author Patrick Suskind. It came out in 1985. I read it. I read it long after I'd seen this movie. I think I read it somewhere in the 2010s, and it was one of those. When you find a book and you're like, it was one of those moments. I was walking down the stairs of my old building. There was a giveaway pile, this cage where people always like put stuff. Like shout out to the people in that building because like I had an entire wardrobe when one summer some girl moved out and everything was exactly my size, and I was broke,
perfect.
so it worked out really really well. Um, but I walked over one day and there was the book. It's like Perfume, Story of a Murder, and I was like, I love this fucking movie. So I picked it up and then I realized that the book was in German, original language. And I said,
Oh,
you know what?
works out.
I've never read a German book. I mean, I've read books that were German, but I'd never read a German book in the original text. Not as an adult because like German language is so complicated. Like there's a whole different case for writing like literature, and so it can be a little bit of a whole different tense for writing and literature. So it can be like a little bit tricky unless you're used to reading that all the time, right? Like newspapers are not written the same way as like regular conversation. So I was like, you know what? I like a fucking challenge. And I picked it up and I read it. And I was really excited to have read it in the original language because some things just don't translate. But what a beautiful story. What an unhinged
Well,
story.
I think I want to read it.
Oh, you should. You
Seems like
should.
something after watching it, I think it's something I'd like to read.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Tanya had never seen it before.
I had never seen it before. The scene though, the orgy scene,
Meow meow.
I had seen some of that before, but not in
Pornhub,
context.
huh?
Let me see if they have that. No. No, I don't remember where, but I recognized that scene in particular. And maybe it had been mentioned in something or
Hmm.
I don't know, but I had no context for it at all. But when it started
Right.
happening, I started remembering that I'd seen it before. But I've never seen the movie. No, I did enjoy it.
Yay. We didn't talk about it. I was just like, you have to watch this movie. We're gonna watch it. And then 2:30 Tuesdays ago, we were just like, we're so fucking tired.
I'm
we
going to bed.
we want to cancel. Like we both had the. I hope she calls and cancels. Today was almost one of those days too. Today was almost one of those days. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's get out of the way.
Not gonna lie, if you had said it, I would have went with it.
Oh, I know. I felt the energy, and that's why I got up. I was like, let me just start putting on face because
It's like if I put on lipstick, then I'm committed.
exactly. So yeah, so we haven't even talked about it.
No,
So
we
I'm
have not.
excited.
And unfortunately, I was watching it with kids around, so then I had to like
yeah.
shuttle them somewhere else once I saw it was where it was going.
It literally says the story of a murderer.
That's fair. That is fair. That is fair. But somehow I was like, it'll be fine. No, it was not fine. I had to stop it immediately.
We were literally talking about how your son just like echolalia'd the fuck out of a line that he heard,
Yeah.
like corrected and like moralized about it and said
Yes.
the word that he said was bad because it was the shut up that was offensive to him.
Right. Exactly. The F word wasn't what was offensive. He didn't even know what that meant.
That's so funny.
But the shut up. So yeah, baby's first F-bomb.
I would love to see a compilation reel of that. Just like on social media. I would watch it like 70 times in a row.
He said shit before.
Yeah.
When he was like maybe 3 or so. When he first started with his echolalia.
Whose fault was it?
Me. I dropped something. I was like, shit. And then he said it. Now I try to stop myself. I'm like, Shiza, shenanigans.
Shiitake.
Exactly.
Shinobi.
Puppy.
That could be a whole stream. Yeah.
Anyway, I enjoyed the movie. Very stacked cast.
Very stacked cast. That's my favorite thing. I mean, I have lots of things I love about it, but like I went into the movie just I was like, oh, this murder, Perfume. I like both of those things. So it wasn't until they started showing I was like, wait. For real? Yeah.
Having watched it and now knowing it's a book, I really do want to read it because when I was watching it, I was thinking of how it would be narrated, especially the scene where they're at the rich people's house in the maze.
Yep.
I was like, there was like a whole narration happening in my head for that scene.
I realized when I was sorry, I had to fix something. I realized when I was watching it because I hadn't seen it in years. And I have the book somewhere. I'm like looking for it. But I realized as soon as it started, I was like, oh shit. Okay. I love this as a movie because it plays like a book.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching a book. And that makes me super, it just made me like settle into loving it right away. And the other thing I really like about it is that it's John Hurt who narrates it. You know, like his, he was in, I feel like for the younger people amongst you, he was Ollivander in Harry Potter. Ollivander's wand. So you got a wand, it was from him. But I remember, and fun fact about him actually, which I just learned, he is on record for as an actor for the most on-screen deaths. 47 of them. And I did
Wow.
not know that was something that people kept track of, Long Live Blackfish. And I was like, okay, 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 47 screen deaths. But the reason that I like my other exposure to him, I guess, as a younger person, was that he was the narrator in Jim Henson's The Storyteller, which
Mhm.
was also one of my faves. But yeah, I was like, damn, I want him to narrate audiobooks, and then I remembered he died in 2017. So, R.I.P. Sir.
Speaking of audiobooks, just a slight sidetrack. I was talking with some narrators about narrating long books, and I was like, well, the longest one I've ever listened to was like 63 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the narrators, he goes, 63. It was Brandon Sanderson. And I was like,
you
yes,
you know what it is. You know what it
yes. I was
is.
like, yes, yes, it is. He was like, okay, yeah,
That's
yeah.
so funny.
Because he had just finished like a 28-hour book, and he was like, oh my God, 28 hours. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, immediately
You're
he's like,
like,
no, Brandon
hold
Sanderson.
my
And I was like,
Cabernet.
yeah, yeah.
That is hilarious. I love that. I love that. Did he have any comments on like what it takes to like? I wonder. We should like. I would love to interview.
The narrator.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I know one who's super cool that we should bring on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. We'll do that. Only if the book is good though. The book is trash. We're not doing it.
We'll
Okay.
talk about it
We'll talk.
later.
Sounds like the book was trash.
No, 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 no. It wasn't that. I just don't want to start revealing too many personal things.
Yeah. Sure. I
You know
feel
the
that.
vibes.
Yep. Yep. Um. Yeah.
So the movie.
Yeah. The movie. The cast super surprising, and I. You know what stood out to me about the casting besides it being awesome, and I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead to Dustin Hoffman's character, is
I
that
loved him.
right? I almost powdered my entire face white. And then I realized that it was going to be a really shitty cleanup afterwards.
Yeah.
And I realized that it was not happening 3 days after Black History Month either. But I was like, oh, okay. I like that you keep saying basta, even though that's not how I hear it when Italian people say it. But I love that you didn't really try to lean into a fake Italian accent. Thank you for not going Luke Cage season 2. See how Tanya just got triggered? Mm-hmm. But I loved him in there. I don't remember the last time I saw Dustin Hoffman in a movie. And then I Googled, and he's like 89 years old. Did you know that?
He's 89.
Yeah. I was like,
I didn't
is
realize
Dustin
he was that
Hoffman
old.
still alive? And Alexa was like, yeah, and he's 89. I was like, no wonder I haven't seen him in anything new.
Yeah, he's retired.
Right?
I would be 89.
Kidding? Absolutely.
Unless I'm playing somebody who's just lays in bed.
No, I'd make you double dutch. That one with the big titties. I want her to jump.
And by the time I'm 89, they're gonna be like,
No, jokes up, the titties are the rope. I love those videos where women like flop their flappies around to
I like
music.
the ones where
Hilarious.
women lift up their titty and like hold something underneath it to show like the bigger and bigger things that they can hold. Like an
Uh,
entire mixing bowl, you start putting stuff in it. Look at
I've
it,
never
look at
seen that.
it. It's a thing. It's a thing. Sorry, I did not
Right.
mean to make
Clearly,
you
you
spit
missed
your
your
beer.
calling. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, Dustin Hoffman. I guess so. Let's talk about our protagonist, a little murder creep.
Little murder creep born in the fish market.
Yeah,
Just fell out of his mother. The way she just like kicked it away because she
I needed
assumed it
to
was
know.
dead.
Yeah, I mean, well, she did have what did she say, like 4 or 5 stillbirths before that. So,
Yeah, she just assumed it was dead and she just kicked it away and went back to work.
so my question for you is: could you shit out a baby and go back to work?
No,
You know, just like
I could barely stand afterwards, especially when, like, I mean, I had an epidural. Obviously, this lady had no drugs,
no.
and once the drugs wore off and the pain set in, there's absolutely no way I could be standing in a fish market. Like I could hardly get out of bed. Everything was so uncomfortable and swollen and sore. Like she was a
Jackie C,
G.
we were just talking about you. We
Hey,
miss
Jackie
you.
C.
Hi.
So yeah, no, I don't think I could shit out a baby and immediately pop back up and go back to selling my wares.
Dude, it's like you could see that she had struggled. Like she's got that, like when you're in so much pain that you're like breaking a sweat, and like I get cramped like that, right? And I'm just like trying to.
Yeah, and she hadn't even passed her placenta. That comes a little bit after.
She could have sold that for like
So she was probably
double the
still having
price.
contractions.
And she had and she skedaddled away from there.
She was like, "Fuck that dead baby."
I
That was
don't know what I would have done. I'm
grim.
like, oh my god, the baby's alive. I should pick it up and like hold it, or oh shit, I can't afford that. This is me
Yeah, like
kicking
if
it
you find a
away.
baby, I wonder if you find a baby if you get to keep it.
I don't know. Afterbirth pain. See, I don't know, you guys, but
Listen, after birth, sorry, I will not harp on this, but you don't realize how much you sit on your pussy until you've
mhm,
given vaginal birth and you keep sitting down.
it sounds terrible.
Yeah, absolutely sat down too fast and cried my eyes out from the pain. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's bad. It is so painful. You just don't realize like you really do sit like just picture feel yourself right now like
I
wiggling.
literally just scooted so I was mostly on my butt.
Yeah, you're sitting right on it. We don't even realize it.
Man.
So fish market lady, kudos to you, you strong pussy bitch. I don't know how you did that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And
You
it's
had
just
an
like
Olympic coochie.
I love that they acknowledge like right away that this was like a super smelly time in history because we talk about that all the
Hmm.
time. I don't want to travel back in time, one, because I don't fancy being enslaved, but also it smells so bad. Just no, 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 no. And so I really enjoyed that. But I like something that I wrote down. I was like, look, he's killing him from his first from killing him from my first breath. Then I wrote hashtag bars because I'm ridiculous.
No, it was crazy. It was like such quick, swift justice. Just like
Hmm.
immediately to the gallows.
You haven't seen this? Oh man, you got to watch this, Jackie. It's so good. It's so we're spoiling it clearly, but you should watch it.
It's on Pluto.
Yeah, you can watch it on Pluto. I own it because I love it that much. But yeah, watch it on Pluto, and yeah, it's so good. The other thing about him, I was like, oh look, he's like living a boon and a curse. We can
Hmm.
circle back around to why what the curse is later. Um, but yeah, it's just like everybody. Imagine coming into the world in that era where they're literally selling children.
Hmm.
They're literally selling children, and even the children are like, "Nah, fuck that kid." They tried to smother him as soon as he got there.
And it's like he was a baby. What did he do to offend?
It's a hard knock life, bitch.
They said, "Nah, we're not feeding another one."
Oh, Annie could never. Like, what? They're like,
It made
he's
me think of
weird.
It made me think of Victorian Psycho giving the babies laudanum. It's like you just
Yes.
got here, we're ready to like just smother it.
Mm-hmm. And here comes I forgot what her name is, Mrs. What you call it in Annie, but yeah, no.
I found it so fascinating that as soon as he left a master, that master died, like immediately after.
Oh yeah, I love that. That
And
was
like
my
he
favorite
wasn't
thing about
doing
the
it.
movie. Yeah, I love that. That's like part of his curse, right? He's like, oh, or everybody, like, here's a kid who's gonna bring me money. Oh, everybody who abandons him or gives him away dies, or takes advantage of him dies. And I was really sad to see Dustin Hoffman go, especially because he died with such a happy smile on his face.
I know
But
he was
like
about to make so much perfume.
so much perfume, right? Like the lady, well, the lady who sold him, the orphanage marm, sold him, got
Yeah.
cut, slid in the street,
As she
never
turned
got
a
to touch that money,
corner.
right?
Gosh.
Like he just left. Same thing with the guy from the tannery,
Hmm.
who I was like, oh, are
He
those
got
burns? He was scabbed like a motherfucker.
and he got bumped into, falls in a canal and drowns because he's
Yeah,
drunk.
because he hit his head too, right? He's like,
Yeah.
whoop, and fell into a canal and drowned. And then Baldini, tisk tisk. But yeah, Grenouille is such an interesting character, because what is it like understanding that you are so different from everybody for something that's so simple? I'm trying to think of an example, but since we're talking about the movie, I guess I'll just keep there. Like, imagine being like, oh, I have this crazy sense of smell. What do you guys mean you don't smell like the tadpoles in the water underneath the
Right.
ice? Y'all can't smell that?
Right.
And then it made me think about like husbands not smelling dirty diapers. And I'm like, you know what? If they could smell like that, they still wouldn't change them. No shade to the daddies who do. Um, but yeah.
It made me just think about like when you're pregnant and you smell everything too. Like,
Mm.
but like I threw up so much from smelling things that smelled bad. How is he not constantly vomiting in such a stink time? And he stank too. So
I was wondering how you weren't vomiting through this whole movie. I
oh,
thought about that several times.
I was absolutely had a few like moments.
Ah, I love that. It's just, oh man.
Yeah.
So I forgot what this actor's name is. It's been something or another. But I love that he was so creepy.
He was extremely creepy. I also really like that we're getting this from the villain's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And so like you're not like rooting for him, but in a way you kind of want to see how far he gets, at least for me.
Yeah.
You know, like when he the final girl that he's chasing down, like I didn't want him to catch her, but at the same time I'm like, oh, he just needs one more.
Right. Oh, so maybe we should talk about that. So Jean-Baptiste Grimmy, he realized he's got this crazy sense of smell. He can differentiate between like wood and wet wood and and warm wood. Pew pew pew. And totally derailed because I'm ovulating. And you got to take it from here. All the things that just flashed in my mind. And so he's been working all these shitty jobs, and then he happens upon a perfume shop. It's like he happens upon a perfume shop, but he also gets to go to the city, and he's never smelled Has Lady from Death Becomes Her. Which one? Please tell me.
Well, before he gets to the perfumer, he
Mhm.
smells that girl with
He
the
smells the
plum. Was
girl
it
with the
plums
plums.
or something?
Yes.
Some fruit.
Or does he smell
And
her after?
no, it
Because
was
he's like
before.
standing outside the window with
No, it
after he
was
delivers the tannery before he goes to deliver like the whole thing to Baldini later. But when the tanner guy takes him into the city for the first time, and he's
right.
being
That's when
accompanied
he
by all the
smells the
sniffs.
girl. And then
Um,
he's trying to keep her smell, and that's what got him so interested in the perfumer because he wanted to know how can I like
right.
keep that smell.
And so that's the whole thing.
Oh,
Like
it's so
I love
creepy smelling her
perfume.
dead body.
Yeah, well, how else does one make perfume? Um, as someone who loves perfume like a lot, it's kind of ridiculous. I found it really fascinating to learn about the craft of creating a perfume and like to how they compared it to music, with the
The
different chords
chords.
and the notes.
Mhm.
And so Grenouille learns that there are eight, yeah, eight chords, and when there's a really beautiful smell, there's a mysterious one, and that's what brings it all together. So basically, this is a serial killer trying to make the perfect perfume by collecting the essence of women, except he doesn't know how to do it at first. And he tries to get Baldini to like, yo, teach me, please.
Oh,
I'm tired of like tanning stuff.
when he tries with the cat, that's when Baldini should have just been like, maybe you should go.
Yeah. So Baldini is a washed up perfumier. He was used to be super successful. That's Dustin Hoffman's character. He used to be super successful. He was the dude on the block that made all this shit. And then this other guy, younger, Bellicini, I forgot what his name, comes along, Bellisi, comes along and makes like beautiful perfumes. And everybody's like, that's the dude, going ahead. And then here comes our little psychopath and it's like, yo, you smell like that perfume. And he's like, what are you talking about? Meanwhile, he's been like trying to deconstruct
Yeah.
it. He's like, you reek of that shit. He's like, listen, I can make it for you. And he was like, what? He's like, whatever, get out of here. Like, you say you have the best nose. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, no, for real, I can make it. And he's like, you need the formula. And here's one of the things that I actually really enjoyed was showing like the the, the education gap, right?
Mm.
Like this kid is illiterate. He obviously illiterate, can't read. He doesn't know words that people in the upper classes do from merchant class and higher. No, he has no idea what a formula is. He's like, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I can still make it for you. Um, and like throughout the whole movie, you're just seeing that like class discrepancy that's happening, that education gap by design. But yeah, so he's like, oh, whatever, try it. but don't drop my expensive shit, or don't blow up the place with this big ass vat of alcohol. alcohol.
Right.
But he makes it from scratch with no training, just by using his nose. And Granwy goes, cha-ching, 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 and buys him.
Yeah, buying people is crazy. Fresh off Black History Month. Yeah, so he gets to learn the techniques from the perfumier, which was what he needed. And then the technique he wants to use to get the smell of girls doesn't work. And so
Doesn't work. He's
he
like
gets sent,
distilling stuff.
right. Can't distill a body. So he sends him to the other place to find out how they do it.
Maybe we should talk. So Tanya was talking a little bit of the reason that he wants to do this is that he smells this woman. Like I was like, is he really just not smelling the fruit? She's got like a basket of like, I don't know, plums, right? And she's beautiful and he smells her and he's so taken. I'm like, oh my God, he's out of like the icky yuckiness. And now he sees a girl for the first time and maybe they'll flirt a little bit, except he's got no socialization. And all he does is like he walks up to her, like stalking you. And you know, she's like, oh, do you want to buy some plums? And he was like, like with literally though, like her whole hand, and she's like, ah, fuck, you're a weirdo. And yeah,
he accidentally kills her while trying to keep her quiet.
Yeah, you know,
he accidentally suffocates her.
He screamed while she was, you know. Yeah, a lot of that. So he was like, yo, I got to figure out how to maintain this, because afterwards, like, she's dead, and he's like hound dogging her, like just taking in her essence. I'm like, what does that even smell like? And then the smell goes away because she's dead. And then he realizes, like, oh, wait a second, I need to figure out, like, with Baldini, Baldini's like, yeah, I can teach you how to make smells, when the whole time what he really wanted was how to preserve a smell, how to keep a smell, not to create one, which is not the same thing. We learn very quickly as he's like throwing stuff in the machine. He's like, remember he has that tantrum
because he doesn't smell like glass.
Yeah, he's trying to distill the smell of glass and copper and pussy. Dead cat, actually. And it was like, shout out to House Party.
I smell.
If you know, you know. It was great plum advertising, Jackie, because they looked delicious.
They did.
Like, oh man, like we could talk about just like how beautiful the colors in this movie is and how wonderful the music is, because the soundtrack is just gorgeous. They actually started working on it the same day that they started working on the screenplay. Because they wanted, these three homies. Homies is what I said. And so I was like, oh man, okay. Plums can't distill this. You can't really make something smell like copper, which, you know, if you've ever smelled a dirty penny, that's not true. If you've ever smelled blood, also not true. All he had to do was bleed a bitch out, but here we are. And so, yeah, he can't do it. And then he like almost dies from sorrow. Baldini is like, what are you talking about? You can't preserve the smell of these things. He's like, you can't? And he's like, no. And then he has a fainting spell.
Very dramatic.
Like, so dramatic. I love it. Yeah. And Baldini's like, listen, you got to go to where the good people go. Go to where the experts are. They live in grass. Go to where, you know, it's like the Berkeley for the Berkeley, the Harvard, the Yale for perfumiers. Like, go there. And he said, okay. He's like, before you go, I want you to give me 100 perfumes. And he was like, bitch, all right. And he just starts rattling off formulas like, here, this. After which Baldini dies happily in his sleep when his building collapses from a bridge into the river.
Like, how did your house just fall down? That's crazy.
Dude, I don't know. But he like, I just like, how do you smell somebody to death? I think is also the question. It's like very of Mice and Men, you know, like, don't kill the mouse, Lenny. Like, chill, 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 chill. Oh man. Yeah. It's like it reminded me like that whole scene where he's making the perfume. You know when you see like musicians who hear a song and then they play it right after? You know, they just hear it once and they're like, "Oh, da da da."
Mhm.
Da." Like that's what it was like watching him do that perfume. And yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's really good at it. He goes to grass, learns some new techniques, and then he starts killing women.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, on the road, well, oh, he starts killing women. But let's talk about his journey to grass, right? He's like all he leaves. He's like, okay, I'm on my way, like Pinocchio. I'm on my way to go to school. La la la. I'm a real boy now, and he gets distracted because now he's like out in the world, away from the city, and he smells fresh air for the first time. Like everything is clean, everything is beautiful, and he just like goes on an adventure, like eat, pray, love shit to the top of a
Eat,
mountain.
pray, love.
I've actually never seen the movie or read the book, but I catch the vibes.
Did I see
Yeah.
it? I think I saw some of it.
Yeah. All it makes me think of
I'm
is
sorry, I
like,
keep yawning.
people, it's okay. I know you're bored with me. It's fine. People, I just stayed at an Airbnb and it had one of those things. Oh, remember Black Lady sketch show where it's like everything had the words on it? The pillow's like rest, and that's
Yeah.
what I imagined there was one in the kitchen. It said kitchen, except the kitchen one was in the cabinet and above the kitchen it said cuisine. And we were like, okay, whatever. It's a choice. But he's out there in the wilderness and everything is so fresh. And he finds a cave that smells like almost nothing, just dead stone, they said. And I really enjoyed the fantastical, like magical realism aspect of this movie. And for a second, I was like, oh my God, is he going to go hibernate with bears in this cave? Because that's going to make me angry and I'm going to want to turn it off. But thank God that didn't happen. And so he goes to sleep and he sleeps the sleep of like someone who can't smell anything.
And he realizes he has no smell.
Yeah. He's been invisible this whole time. Or that's how he puts it. Like if your smell is the soul, like it's your essence. Like that's what Baldini was telling him. Kind of find out he's got no smell. That's how he's able to sneak up on people and kill them. Even though his clothes stinks, it makes me think of that line that I misheard from A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. You don't smell housebroken, which is not what he said.
Yeah.
But he was stinky. Yeah. So now he's like, oh my God, I need to go make my mark on the world because if I don't have a smell and a soul, like how else I'm gonna go prove myself. And so he goes to grass. And he smells this woman in a carriage going to grass. And then the real part of the movie begins. It's a long movie. I feel like we should
It is a
maybe
long
warn people.
movie.
It's like 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's
Yeah, he
beautiful.
starts his serial killing
Mm-hmm.
and he shaves their heads, which kind of becomes his signature. It's like
Yeah.
blunt force trauma to the back of the head, and then you find the body with the shaved head.
I hold on. No. Sorry, I made notes. Captions. Oh, I was like, what if he died as a baby and this is his dream as a baby? And of course, he went to hell and this is his dream because he didn't get baptized. But clearly, I was on one that day.
Yeah.
Um, and the invisibility part of him reminded me of like the spy from the Black Lady sketch show, where like
Oh yeah.
nobody notices her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he follows the smell of a woman and he goes to this perfume class. And it's great. It's Guinness with the straw, Jackie. Preserve the lipstick at all costs. Um, and yeah, he goes and he's like a model pupil. Model pupil.
Mhm.
He's learning this new technique. And what do they do there? Instead of like boiling and distilling stuff, they take the flowers, and they wrap it in like they shovel them very gently so they don't get bruised. And then they put them in animal fat to preserve the scent. And he's like, bingo. Let me start doing this. While he's learning that, we get to meet a whole new subplot happening. a la Alan Rickman and his daughter. He's always a surprise. Every time I see he pops up in the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, forgot about you.
Yeah, you told me he was in it, and then I saw him, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's in this."
Hmm. I think that's the fun part. It's just like I don't know. It's like, especially if you've never heard of this movie, you really don't expect the cast.
Yeah.
I think that's the really fun part of it. But Alan Rickman, I forgot what his job is, but he's like merchant class, has a daughter who's exceedingly beautiful and, of age. Some duke or whatever, marquis wants to like marry her. And they don't know that killing is happening right now because it's only happening to the people who are poor
Mm-hmm.
until I have to burp on the mute.
Until
So
he gets, until he gets one of those twins from the party, one of the rich girls.
let's talk about the rape maze.
The rape maze.
That's what I'm calling it. Like I imagine having like I've always wanted like a huge garden with a maze in it, but I'm thinking back to these periods where all these women were super chaste and put together and like they always had chaperones and playing hide and seek in a maze is like to me the easiest way to cop a feel
Mm-hmm.
without supervision. No nannies or nurses or parents or spinster aunties or whatever. Um, and so on her birthday, she's like, "Let's go play hide and seek in the maze because I'm trying to like strong arm this fucking marquis away from me who gave me this beautiful necklace thing, which
Yeah.
was really pretty,
Yeah.
and it was the
But
best
it's
one in the
like
crowd."
he's like a teenager. He's like a grown man. I can see why she was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, like leave me alone with your terrible wig. Hide and seek with the lords.
I couldn't do a garden maze. It would give me so much anxiety.
I know. It's like I would only want to watch from above. And I
Yeah,
would
that's
like
my worst nightmare.
I would have like my one way mapped it. Like I would never experiment. Actually, that's not true. I've done that. But
No, I
uh
wouldn't go in at all because my anxiety would go through the roof.
yeah. And I'd come
I'd have
out
to
and
be
you could have a glass
helicoptered
of
out.
wine waiting for me. Like just stay here and keep the champagne cold.
Yeah.
Rapacious lords. But yeah, so they're wandering through this thing, and you're like, oh, and Alan Rickman, what the fuck is his name? Don't remember. But he's such a doting dad, giving her like the best of everything. They play hide and seek. They're these twins, Francoise and Abilene or whatever. And Daddy calls everybody back because it's been long enough, and he knows that he used to be a boy too, and he
Mhm.
knew what got on in those mazes. SA
Mhm.
101, and he was like, you know what? Let me call the kids home, and he does, and his daughter doesn't show up, and he keeps calling, and he doesn't show up. She doesn't show up, and he keeps calling, and you're like, oh my god, because Grenouille is in the maze. Oh, we forgot to tell you
Yeah.
that he's
Big
there.
big part left out.
Yeah, he toucan Sammed his way to her house and was like,
He said, "Oh, I need to kill her. She smells great."
"It's great." And yeah, no. She eventually comes out. He near miss, but in the meantime, he managed to snag the twins, and he had enough
So,
time to like leave them there.
yeah. And so now the upper crust, because before he was killing like poor women and like sex workers and things like that, where like people aren't going to look for them or report them missing. And now he's killed these rich twins.
He
So now
prefers the
they
girls who
know.
bathe.
Yeah. And with the shaved heads, now they realize this is the same person. We have a
Yeah,
serial killer
he
on
has a
our
serial
hands.
killer. Weren't we talking about this recently? Like, how many does it take to become a serial killer? Is it three?
Yes, I think it's 3.
It's three. Don't
I feel
ask
like
why we
I
had
don't
this
want to.
conversation.
I don't think I should Google that, but I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Alexa.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah. He's got
all
his
right,
he's got his
I have
signature.
to
Oh
Google
yeah,
it.
please do, and I'll keep yapping about it.
I'm gonna
Um,
regret this. I'm gonna do it
he
in the incognito window.
You should use Quant or one of these other ones. Duck Duck. I don't know. Well, anyway, but yeah, he's like on a mission. He's on a mission. He's killing these girls. At first the upper crust is like, oh no, what do you mean we can't impose a curfew? Like, what the fuck? We've got lavender to pick. You can only pick that before dawn. If we keep everybody inside, we'll be ruined. And Alan, what is Alan Rickman's character? I have it written here somewhere. Antoine Ritchie. He's like, Actually, this is a problem for all of us. Your workers are probably not going to want to go to work if they think that your workers, your servants, the people that you own, who report back to you, are going to be afraid of working. So maybe we should figure this out. And they go through this whole thing. The and yeah, so his signature's like he's gonna bump him off the back of the head. He's going to collect the hair, and we see him this whole time. Like you can see, he's determined. He's mastered the art of preserving scent because at the school one day he's got like this. He kills his woman, throws her in the tank. Her little puppy's like, "Where's my mummy?"
No, the
Uh,
puppy was for the wasn't the tank woman. The puppy was the sex worker's pet.
His first killing, Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the dog was really sad. And tried to She just was there just witnessing the whole murder. And the sex worker was like, ew, why are you trying to put Crisco on me? Like, rightly so.
What kind of freaky shit is this?
She's like,
Real
no.
quick, serial killer. I was correct. 3 or more people. But there's other things because there's serial killer, there's mass murderer, there's spree killer, and there's contract killer.
Oh,
And
that's what we were
so
talking about. The difference between a serial killer
and
and
a
a
mass murderer.
mass
That's what we were
murderer.
talking about
Yeah.
at D&D for some reason. So
Because we were in a
serial killer.
melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serial killer is an individual who murders 3 or more people, with the killings taking place over a period of more than 1 month in 3 or more separate events. And it's a distinct classification.
Hmm.
A spree killer is someone who kills 2 or more in a short time, often in multiple locations. So the amount of time between the killings makes a difference between a spree
Oh,
killer and a serial killer.
interesting.
And then a contract killer is kind of like a serial killer, but it's a contract killer, so it's not the same. The
That's sense.
motivation also matters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Tell us the word.
motivation. Yeah, right. So it's number of victims, it's the amount of time between killings, and also motivations.
Well, you heard it here first. Don't say we didn't teach you shit.
The FBI. This is all according to the FBI.
Yeah. 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 Geez, yes. So all these people are
I should have
dying.
logged into my husband's Gmail and then Googled it.
You should do it anyway. I should do
Look
it
it up on his phone.
like, so that's what you're up to when you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Serial killer, not a spree. Not a spree.
Right.
Yeah. I think one of the weirdest things in this movie, the part where it kind of lost me was like, I understand the noble class's resistance to like to go on lockdown, to have a curfew, to like, prompt economic
Mm-hmm.
insecurity. But, and I get that. I also get that Professor Snape in this movie was like, hey, we need to figure this out. But his whole get into the mind of the killer thing didn't really track as believable to me, because that wasn't his lane. I
Right.
can't
It
remember
wasn't.
exactly what his job was. He was a merchant or whatever. He wasn't an advocate, aka a lawyer. He wasn't any of those things. So I was thinking just like, well, I understand that you have a young, beautiful daughter of age, and like 2 of these bitches, died at her birthday party in your maze on your thing. So I get it. I get it that you feel like your kid is targeted. So you want to solve it. But it just, for me, it felt like a little bit of a reach for him to be like, we've got to get into the mind of the killer.
Right. Like, why
So
are they
more than
letting him be a
once.
part of it just because he's like a rich dude?
I mean, that's why they were all a part of it, apparently. The police weren't shit, clearly. Um, and I wanted that part always loses me a little bit. Not that I become less invested in the story or the movie rather, but it makes you go like, I wish I would have known more of his background to like justify that type of like tenacity,
Mm-hmm.
outside of like, there were murdered, the 2 girls were murdered in my home. And maybe it's like, I don't want to be blamed, because I would have cast suspicion on him, except for everybody saw him, not
Yeah,
me.
that's true. There's
He had
ton
a
of
legit alibi.
they should have blamed it on the Marquis.
They should have.
He was in the maze.
Oh my god, I totally would have.
And
If
then
I
she
was the
wouldn't have to
daughter,
get
that would have
married.
been If she was a strong-willed woman, she would have been like, I saw the Marquis with Francoise and the other Abilene.
It's not like they had like DNA testing or
He would have said,
forensics.
you're
You
lying, you
know.
slut. No, he would not have said that. He would have
And her
docked.
daddy would have believed her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that, I mean, so I understand that. I felt like that was also like a bit of a like, okay, exposition. Let's like give it, let's give the exposition a little coffee. That's not what I was going to say, and move things along. Um, but I did appreciate that he was the only one like driving, driving the fucking bus on let's figure this
Especially
shit out.
when they wanted to close the case. They're like, no, we got it. We figured it out. And he's like, no, you didn't. And that's a thing that has always
Mm,
annoyed me with law enforcement, where they're like, nope, this is the guy. We don't want to continue this. Where it's like, no, but like he could still, like, he's still out there. Like, you don't just
yeah.
want to close the case. Like, you want to actually catch the killer,
Like, bitch, don't you
you
get
know?
overtime?
But it happens all the time in movies where they're like,
Mhm.
listen, this is our guy. And they're like, or where they suppress evidence and it's all this stuff. And you're like, no, but like, there's signs that it's not this guy. You want the killer to actually get free just so you can, like, I was going to say finger someone, but now that sounds weird. Finger them.
Go on vacation. Take her. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, they just wanted the case to be closed so that they can, go back to their
resume
normal
business.
lives.
Oh, to
But it's
resume
like, but the
business, right?
killer's
They're
still out.
losing money.
Right, but the killer's still out.
The
So it's
killers
not going to stop.
and people are in a panic.
Mhm.
Something that I thought was really fun in this movie, and I don't know, well, you're not Catholic, but I obviously I was raised Catholic. We talk about this sometimes, and I'm thinking about the time period in history because, like, I really laughed when they're like, "Oh no, this must be the devil's work. We gotta bring in God," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." But there's a scene, and I think that if you were not raised Catholic, or know very much about that, that faith lane, uh, you would be like, well, so what if he's getting excommunicated? At this point in history, that's like unbelievable. Jackie, please put that up.
Of course. You're right.
This is why we miss you.
Nothing at all weird about fingering
Not at
criminals.
all. Actually, said
Finger
something about
them.
that, you know, in the butthole. Um,
Vigilante fingerer. No, I'm not going to go back down that train. We've already done this
have
offline.
we?
Offline. Vigilante, never mind. Let's stay focused.
Okay, we're doing a good job. Um, right in front of my ovulation. Shit, what was I? What was I talking about? Excommunication. So you're like,
Mhm.
okay, first of all, what is excommunication? Excommunication means being banished, cast out, expelled from the church. God turns his back on you. It's like, being ultimately shunned. There is no place for you in heaven, blah, blah, blah. And in a society like this that is so buttoned up, so devout, like this is the worst thing that you can imagine. So that scene where everybody's like, yes.
Question about excommunication. So I
Mhm.
didn't know that like it means like God doesn't fuck with you anymore. I thought it's just like you're kicked out of church.
You're kicked out of church. You can't go to heaven. You
I didn't
can't
know
get
that part.
rebaptized. You can't get none of that. You are
But
done.
how do they know if you just go to a different church?
These
Like, do
people
they
didn't
send
move
out like,
around towns.
do they
Yes.
like, but
Yes.
like, I mean, people get excommunicated now, right?
Yeah,
Do
people
they?
can still get
So like,
excommunicated.
do they like send out like a memo
Yeah,
to all
you
of
get
the,
blacklisted.
okay,
Mhm.
so like they send something out to all of the, whatever they're
The
called,
diocese and
diocese.
parishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
they're
So
like,
it's
if
well
this
known.
guy shows up, absolutely not.
Don't let him in the door.
Okay. Baptists
Yeah.
don't excommunicate people.
Yeah. And as much as Catholics are about being forgiven, like once you excommunicate, that shit is a wrap.
You can't get forgiven. Yeah,
Sticky, sticky.
Baptists are
And
definitely
some
more like
pigeons.
they're like, yes, you finished your second killing spree, but we forgive you. You can start fresh. Like that's
Jump
how
back
the
in
back.
that pool.
That's how, yeah. Like you can only be baptized once, but you can be rededicated.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, no, you become a fucking pariah.
that's crazy.
You
I didn't
really,
I didn't know it means like God like said nah.
Yeah, no, like the priest is like, nope, 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 you're not to be fucked with. It's like, in when we did
Uh-huh.
Romeo and Juliet, or just like anything from that time when you're exiled, like ban it, like there's exiled and banishment and the difference between those things, right?
Uh-huh.
Um wait, Jackie, what happens if you're gay?
Are we talking about the church thing? I'll say
Yeah,
the
she
church
said they
that
send pigeons unless I need the rest of that thought finished. Go
I
ahead.
think it's about being kicked out of the church, maybe, but we'll
Mm.
see. But
Oh, right. That makes
the
sense.
Baptist church I grew up in, though, they like there was no preaching against homosexuality. In
That's
fact, they
amazing.
used to call us the gay church because it was like filled with gays. Because our pastor had a trans sister and like didn't preach against homosexuality at all,
I love
and was
that.
like, all are welcome. You're all God's children. God made you as you are. Come on
Hmm.
home.
My sister was going to a church like that, in Harlem actually, before
Yeah.
she left. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she really liked it. Um, I think the convenient thing about this movie, and that's what makes me think like it was all staged by the church, right? God, the priest is like I don't even know if maybe it was a bishop. He was definitely higher up, fancier dressed than a priest,
Mhm.
and he's like God this and God that and excommunicated, and then boom, 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 boom. There's a knock on the door. They caught him. I was like, bitch, what do you
Everybody gather round,
mean?
dancing in the street.
Yo, they celebrated. They
Yeah, the
fucking
way you would
celebrated.
not catch me at that party.
Yo, but I did write, let's normalize dancing in front of burning effigies. Like, here for it.
Yes. Yeah, I can only speak for the church I went to, so I
Mm,
didn't really venture out into many other church. I've like gone to other churches before, but I've never like belonged to another church other than the one I grew up in. And then once I moved, I stopped going to church.
hmm.
I mean, when I went to the Pentecostal church, they did warn me that I'd be turned out if I started hanging out with the sinners, and they were kind of right. I was like,
Now
wait,
they're
they're not so
confirming the
bad.
Bible statement.
Basically, I was like, they're not so bad. What are you guys talking about? And it's like exactly what they said would happen.
They have
And,
so much more fun.
and I joined this. I joined the sinning side.
One more for us.
It's just funny to think about. Like they're them saying like, not to cavort with certain people because they'll draw you away from the church. And for me, that is exactly what happened. It
Yeah.
didn't like turn me against the church person. Well, not my church, the
Yeah.
church in the broader sense. I'm very much like, ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's hard not to turn away when you're Catholic with all the yeah, anyway. Um so yeah, dancing in the streets, celebrating. I'm like, who let this kid outside? Why is she dancing in the streets?
Oh
Like,
my god, and he came so close to getting her.
oh my god.
The
So
girl
they're dancing around this effigy that's burning in the fire. And my biggest question for this scene was like, wait, she gets to hang out with the common people? I thought she was a noble girl.
right. What
Did
are you
she sneak
doing
out of
there?
the house? Like, what the fuck is she doing there? Like, or maybe these are her people. I don't know. Maybe they're like the people that her dad owns. Who fucking knows? Because she's dancing with the boy too. Hmm. So that's happening, and you're just like, no, I wouldn't let my kids out of
Well,
the
her
house
her
either.
dad wasn't letting her though. He was trying to drag her home because he
Mhm.
knew that that killer was still out there.
He's like, this is too convenient with his what the fuck eyebrow. Love
I
that.
loved his
This shit.
plan. Yeah.
I
I feel like my
can't
eyebrows are
do
so covered. I should like wear a headband.
that.
Show some forehead.
My glasses are covering my my eyebrow, and I did a good job with them today.
I guess
Um,
I'm always covering my eye makeup. That's just life for me.
hmm.
Anyway, sorry. Again, that time we're derailing. Um, I loved his plan of sending her, of leaving, going to another place, and how they sent the carriages and everything in one way and then rode off in the other. Like I thought that was a brilliant plan, except he doesn't know this guy has super smell, so it's not going to help him, which is just too bad.
It's too bad. He didn't. I mean, he didn't stand a chance. And you just he
Gonna
went through. every effort, you know, like they took like they took the carriage, they split off and went into different directions. You know, he went south and they went north. He had his daughter dressed as a boy, like all of that.
He cleared out the inn so that
There
only
at the end, he's like,
got
"Who's
every
staying
room for
here?
the night.
Nobody."
Yeah,
Boom.
I'm taking every room.
You know, and little did he know that, you know, our little magical, our fleet-footed psychopath.
Oh, right, because before that, he had gotten into their house.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's what sparked him moving.
Yeah, that's right. He like came in, he went in and like came and gave her a kiss goodnight. And he's like, oh, okay. The windows were open. It reminded me of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Remember
Mm.
where they like close the window on poor little shit. What's her name? Lisa, Lulu. No, no, no. The L name girl. The little, yeah, her. The one who was what the most maligned in the movie, poor chick. Closed to protect her. And then he had a nightmare that she was murdered. And he runs back to the bedroom and she's like covered up in all these blankets and pillows and shit. And he's like, ah, yanks him off. And she's like, what's wrong, Papa? And he's like, wait, did you open your windows in the night? And she's like, no.
The way that would freak me out, and I would have to leave that night.
Dude,
I woke up and my
seriously.
windows are open and I'm sleeping alone and I didn't open them. Chill. And there's a serial killer on the list. Like
And
he
there's a
did the
serial killer
that's
on the
the thing, he
loose.
did everything right.
He did
He was
everything
gone the
right.
next day.
He left the next day. He dipped. He was like, you know what? No, we're not taking these chances. Like,
But
and
he
he,
didn't know that his daughter was being stalked. He knew that the killer attempted to get her,
yes,
but he didn't know that she's like actively being stalked, that he
he
wants her
didn't know that she was
specifically.
the mystery note in this guy's dream
Right.
perfume,
Because how would
right?
he know that?
There's no way. The only this is what I meant to get into when we were talking about like his detective moment. He was like, oh, he's like, this man is obviously collecting her. They're like, oh, because all the people were like, oh, you know, we know what he wants to do with them. Just like use your imagination. He's like,
Right.
no, only the
They were
sex
all
worker wasn't a
maidens.
virgin. Everybody else was a virgin. They were
Mhm.
intact. Their purity and virginities were intact. And so he's like, he obviously is pulling these women together. It's like he's collecting them. And that's where I was like, do you have experience in this field, sir? Like, really?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, why
is
do
he
you
just like killing
like
a bunch of bitch?
who's telling you about all this evidence?
Did you
Like,
go to the
where's the
future?
leak?
Where's the leak? You know, they are the cops because they are the noble class, right? Um, and so I was like, oh, okay, right. And the other thing he had right is that, you know, he wasn't out here killing bum bitches. They all were cute. You know,
Mhm.
he's like, oh, they're beautiful. They all had a certain aesthetic. Shout out to serial killers. They all had a certain aesthetic.
Not shout out to serial
And he
killers.
was like, you know, consistency. And he's like, yeah, no, he's like, you might be next. Like, not only might you be next, but there were already two women killed in my backyard.
Right.
Let's go. And so they ran away. And he tried his best. He
I mean,
absconded
he
with the
he
dog.
had the window overlooking just
A
rocks.
cliff with the
Like,
ocean.
he locked the door. I mean, leaving the key on his dresser was silly.
I would have slept with it, like in
I
my
It would
crotch.
have been tucked under my nuts. Like, there is no way.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, come for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go
Come
ahead
for
and
it.
dig under there for that key.
So I have a question for you, because we
Mhm.
did talk about him not having, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later as we rush through the end. Um, I wondered, like this time watching it and the last time too, like how big a factor did his not having his own smell play into this, right? Because he's sneaking up on people. Like some people, he's kind of like, "Boop, boop, boop," but like with the first plum girl, he got like right here before she noticed him, you
Yeah.
know. And I know like people have like, you know, I'm really quiet, I can sneak up on people, but like eventually you sense something. Like I'm jumpy
Right.
because you know I don't see
I
many
know, I keep,
people.
like, looking behind
I'm
me
like,
now because I
you
don't
know, I
have my
get jumpy. I'm
background.
like, when somebody comes around the corner because I'm not used to seeing people in my space because I'm self-centered as fuck. But like, that's true, right? But like, how big a part did that play in that? You know, like he's not giving off body odor. The smells that he has are all ambient, you know?
Right, it's the
I think
smells of whatever's around him.
hmm So I found that to be super, super interesting. But dear Alan Rickman, he goes to this place, he locks his daughter up, he says goodnight, puts the windows, closes everything. She's like, "Good night, Daddy." Although she's mad at him. She's like, "You made me leave my life over a nightmare,"
Right.
which is where we differ. If you knew the things that I have gone through as like a young person, because some woman in my family had a nightmare, whether it's my mother, my grandmother, some other woman, and we had to go through some kind of ritual purification, like, yeah, they would have absolutely dipped. Like, we
One
would have
time,
been gone.
one time I didn't leave my apartment for 2 days because my son randomly went, "It's not safe out there, mommy," and then went back to playing. And he just did not elaborate. I'm like, what are you talking about? What's not safe? Like out where? Like outside, out in the world? Like what are you talking? He was just like playing with this toy. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, it was like he was inhabited by something. It was so creepy. I didn't go outside for 2 days. I was like, you know what? You're right. It's not safe out there. So I'm gonna just stay in here.
Apparently, it's not safe in there either.
Let's not bring her up.
No. Yeah. So he
But
does
the
all the
thing is,
things
she,
on
she
the
shouldn't have
door.
been. It was silly of her to be angry because, ma'am, 2 people got killed at your house.
Weren't
So
those your
like,
friends?
right. I
Why
guess
are
maybe
you
they
not
weren't
scared?
like her dad's friends' kids.
Mm,
You know?
they were here for the cake and the wine.
Right. Oh, I
Mm.
have cake and
Shout out to both of those. And
wine.
your kids are sleeping. Win win. Uh, yeah, I mean, honestly, even every time I watch this movie, I'm devastated by what happens next, because here comes Jean Baptiste. Sneak, sneak, sneak. He goes into the room. He's like, "Oh, you left the key on the dresser? Bet." On the
Perfect.
nightstand.
I
Goes in,
didn't
locks
want
it.
him to get her. They really make you feel like he's not gonna do it
They
because
really
he
do.
hesitates.
He hesitates. He
And
does.
then, Alan Rickman opens the doors, that bright light,
This
and it's her
angelic light pours through and just like it resolves.
to
And it's
her
his daughter.
naked, bald, dead body.
Watching him do that grief, like, I don't know how many 30 Tuesdays in a row I've said, "That's my son." That's my boy. But that happens. And I just felt for him because, like you said, he made all the effort to
He
go
did
and
everything he could. Like,
everything.
what more could he have done? What more
He
could
could,
he have done? There's nothing else he could have done. Like, he got as far away as possible, as far as he could get in that day.
and his plan
Because
was to go to a deserted island the next day.
right, but, like, you can only travel so far in one day, and we're talking about traveling by
Getting
horse.
trained.
Huh? Yeah. And you're traveling by horse. It's not like there's street lights, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not gonna be safe out on the road with her at night on a
Absolutely not.
horse.
Yeah.
So, like, he did, and then he bought out the whole inn, to make sure nobody was there. I mean, the inn, I guess maybe he should have taken a guard or something, but,
He should have
like,
taken, I feel like he should have hired guards or something. I honestly, here's where I think
but
he
it
went
would have
wrong.
been too conspicuous to see a group of people
Sure.
leaving.
I understand and I agree. I think where he went wrong is that he didn't sleep in the room with her.
He should have
I
slept
would
in
have
the
been
room with her.
parked up in a fucking chair by the door. You would have had to open the door and bump into me.
Right.
Like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, oh man. If you have a nightmare, I'll sleep in the room with you. If I'm scared, I'm coming to your, well, whatever.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I did think that too. I was like, man, when he was leaving her, I was like, I think he should stay in there with her.
just
They should just be
stay.
in the same room. Like, but it's a thing of propriety too. Like him
Right.
in bed with his daughter. Like,
No one's to get in
that
bed.
you
Get
might,
a chair.
but what the
Smoke a
innkeepers
pipe.
would think. Like,
Mm, it's his daughter.
or
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah.
his daughter, and they came here to be alone to do weird shit.
Mm.
Like
How those
it's
rich people get on.
exactly like it wouldn't have.
Oh
It would have
man,
been
I didn't even think of
wildly
that angle.
improper for him to share a bed with his daughter in this time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she didn't have a mother or a governess to share a bed with her.
Why not? Like, you had the budget. Tisk tisk. Yeah. So she dies. She dies. Can we talk about the redhead propaganda that runs through this movie? If I was a redhead lady, I'd be afraid. Because like almost all of them were gingers.
And if you rearrange the letters in ginger, need to.
I couldn't even make a sound. Do it on your own time, people.
Don't say it out loud.
Think it in your head. Don't write it down on a piece of paper. Like type and
Like
don't hit
doing a
send.
puzzle.
We should do that for anagrams. Yeah, my uncle's calling me.
It's late.
I know he's been sending me music, so he's going to be asking me. He's going to ask me if I've listened to any of the songs. Shout out to Uncle Claude. Yeah, she's dead, and he's got the last ingredient that he needs.
And
his
he's just
pride.
over in the hillside. He didn't even go that far.
Just
Just over the
mixing my
hillside. Got this shit. Let me
potions.
mix it
I got
together.
my last thing. Yeah, he
Now let's
just
talk
like
about the effects of it because we're over time. But
yeah. Well,
he,
okay. Let's see
he
if there's
gets
anything else
caught.
we want to go to. He gets caught. Ooh, this movie opens up with them saying how they're going to kill him. They're not
Mhm.
going to hang him. They're going to break all of his major joints with the iron bar, and
Mhm.
then they're going to like.
And the execution is doing his little practice hits for the crowd.
"Mm, mm." Yeah, yeah. So he's got this perfume now, right? They throw him in jail. He's like, "Bitch, whatever. I got my perfume."
Why did he still have it on him? Whatever. Go ahead.
I know. I don't like. I
I was
wondered
like,
about the searches. That's a little bit of a plot hole for
he
me
had it in
too.
his butthole.
I guess.
I mean, I guess his butthole doesn't smell like anything. So it
I
wouldn't
guess
have altered the scent.
no, no. And feel like if you've lived a rough life like that, you've probably been,
You probably had stuff in your butt before.
I imagine that's, yeah, that's what I
How
would
else will you
guess.
protect your precious things? Got to
You
put them
know,
in your butt.
you got to keep them safe
In your butt.
in your butt. The anal safe, trademarked here today. So oh, I think this is actually Baldini says very early on. He's like, redhead's a temper. But he says early on, he's like, yo, the Egyptians, they were into perfume. They said, hey, all these perfumes have all these notes. There's this one thing, and they opened a tomb, and there was a perfume that was so beautiful and intoxicating that for one moment the entire world was like
Mm-hmm.
in love, right?
And they can
And
never figure out the ninth note.
they never figured out what the ninth note was. So he's in jail. Alan Rickman's character was like, waterboard that bitch. It made me realize how much I don't ever want to be waterboarded.
I accidentally waterboarded my baby.
If you're just joining, that's not the craziest thing that's been said tonight.
You want to know how? I didn't want to use a bath visor because I was like, you guys are just trying to take advantage of me because I'm a first time mom. You want me to buy all these stupid gadgets. I'm not falling for it. I'm just going to use a towel. And as I was rinsing his hair, the towel got wet. And he was like, and I was like, oh shit.
What did they used to do back before bath visors? Because I'm pretty sure that we all
The
drowned
baby
then.
just had a wet face and cried.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah,
Well, I have a
water.
bath visor now.
Thank God.
But Grimlock doesn't let me use it. Only Donut lets me use it. But he doesn't love it. So it's whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, right.
He wants to waterboard this guy. He wants him tortured to death. He wants all of the things.
And how frustrating is it? He's like, why did you kill my daughter? He's like, I needed her. And he's like, drop him. He goes, why did you kill my daughter? He's like, I just needed her. And you're just like, what the fuck? Because he did, but
like they don't understand what the fuck he's talking about.
You just need her for what?
So the wild moment of it for me is they finally take him to bring him to be executed. He's in the carriage, puts on his little perfume cologne.
Well, that's how he got out of being treated, right? He went from being like dressed up in like all the slummy,
right, that's what I'm saying.
clothes. Yeah.
When so he goes into the carriage, he puts on this perfume, and then when the carriage arrives in the town square and opens up, he's dressed nicely. And I remember being confused, like,
yeah, that's the jailer's outfit.
Like, why is he in different clothes? And then he gets up there and everybody's being all chill and everybody's bowing, and then
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
we
Can
get
you
the
imagine being the father of someone whose, like, daughter was a crown jewel of a serial killer, and you bring him for execution? Like, he's not even, like, out on the balcony, you know, because he understands that this is gruesome business, right?
Mhm.
Um, but he still wants to see justice served. And you're waiting for this moment, and then this carriage opens, and people just start looking at this man and, like, bowing down and saying, "He's innocent." The fucking bishop or whatever the fuck he is, he's like, "He's an angel sent
Mhm.
by God." And, like, John Baptiste's like, "Oh shit, I didn't know it was gonna work that well." Wave my
He leans
hanky
into
around.
it. He leans into
Yo,
it,
because
and
it's
then
the first time he's
even
ever been loved and admired.
right, and then even Alan Rickman calls him son.
Dude, that scene where he, like, gets on his knees in front of him, because he's like, Alan Rickman's talking, like, all the shit you would talk to somebody who killed your fucking kid,
Right.
right? Like, and he meant it. But suddenly he's, like, on his knees, calling him my son and asking for forgiveness?
And I
Bitch.
started thinking, like, is he dreaming? Is this like a pre, you know, execution fever dream? Like,
That's what I'm
what is
saying. It's like
happening?
that baby was born in the pit, and just this is the baby's
And
dream.
then everybody starts having sex
Well,
in the town square.
so what happened was his love-infused handkerchief. He takes it, he flings it into the crowd. It's like a really beautiful scene, and there are, like, I was looking up information because I wanted to find out, like, the choreography of the scene, because it's stunning. There are so many people packed into the square, and this is like before Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers CGI vibes, right? Like, these are physical bodies that are in this space, and for them all, like, it gave me anxiety thinking about it. Actually, it just did again, but just this scent goes wafting around, and people are just like, just so in love and just fascinated with each other, and it's bringing out all of their natural sense. So suddenly, like, people are it's like Molly, like Molly times 50 billion, you know? And so they start kissing and blah, and there's an orgy. And, like, why, while all of this is happening, John Baptiste is still standing on the fucking platform, and nobody's coming to him because he doesn't have a smell. And I think that's his downfall. Like, you know, like, you got everything you wanted, you created the most perfect smell in the world, you made the world fall in love, even if it's just for a second, only to find out
On the handkerchief, not on him.
on the handkerchief, not on him, not on him. And I actually love the poetic justice of that, to spend all this time going and killing to create this perfume, discovering that you actually don't have a scent, and then going to, you know, pursuing how to preserve, like, that essence anyway. And when you finally get it, to not, for it not to register, you know. And I actually really, the part that was, it wasn't a heartbreaking moment, but it was sobering for me, like, that he has that daydream back to that first woman that he killed, and was like, oh, he imagines her, like, coming up and kissing him, and, like, them having this very romantic and touching encounter, which could have happened if he wasn't such a fucking weirdo, because she
Mhm.
gave him, like, smiley eyes, you know.
Even though he was filthy and stink. Well, I
Or
guess
also
his clothes were stink,
his
maybe.
clothes were stink, he didn't smell. Maybe that was the attraction. um yeah, so there's an orgy, and then everybody wakes up horrified because they're super Catholic. And they vow
Everybody.
never to talk about it again.
And how does our friend meet his end? He
Grand oui.
pours the bottle. He goes back to the place where he hailed from, and he pours the
Pits
whole
of
bottle
despair.
on his head, and they devour him
I always love that part. Like, nothing is left except the bottle of perfume
and close,
and clothes.
and
And
just
I
like a blood stain.
I love it. I love the last few lines of that, where they, and it's like you're listening. It's like you're listening to a book, right? Where they're saying, it was the first time in their lives that anybody in this, like, just, like, wretched, like, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's not like a neighborhood, in that little area, had ever felt like they'd done something purely out of love. And that to me is just, like, heartbreaking, devastating, and, like, genius. 10 out of 10. No, 9 out of 10 for the, like, you know, Inspector
Yeah,
Clouseau moment that
I
he
was
had.
about to say Clouseau, and you beat me to it.
Yeah, well, we're nerds. Yeah, would watch again. Can't wait to watch it again. Gonna watch it again. Gonna read the book. I'm gonna read it in English this time. See
Yeah,
what
I
that
think I'm
feels like.
gonna when I get through some other books I need to get through. Uh, I'll check it out. I'll read it.
Yeah. Cool. What do we have coming up next? Bam, bam,
Mrs.
bam.
March.
Mrs. March.
Book
Um,
club, Wine on an Empty Stomach. I believe that is March 15th.
I will tell you momentarily. Yes, March 15th. Excuse me, which is also the day of the Oscars, apparently.
Hmm.
Um, which, whatever. I'm more excited about book club. We're going to be talking about Mrs. March by Virginia Fata, who you guys know by now that we stan, because we did Victorian Psycho, and Mrs. March is Mrs. March was first. And if you read Victorian Psycho before Mrs. March, you'll understand where a lot of Victorian Psycho came from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like she was like, you know what, Mrs. March is crazy. This bitch is unhinged. But wait a second, I can do better.
I can do more.
I can do more, and it's so great, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That was a really good read. She was so fucking unhinged.
And it's not long. It's not a long
It's
book.
an extremely short read.
Yeah,
You could do it in an afternoon if you committed yourself.
yeah. Afternoon and a half. Make somebody pour you wine so you don't have to get up.
I think that's all we have coming up, right?
Um, do we have a 30 Tuesdays in April? I think we do. Oh, on the 24th, because Happy Women's History Month, we are going to do our first,
Flowers.
yep, our first
Okay.
30 Tuesday bouquet, in which
For
we
Loretta
celebrate,
Devine.
yep, in which we celebrate under. It makes me think of Little Women too, actually. That's what pops up in my head every time I thought about it until I read the book, and now they've been replaced. Just because she's so crazy. But yeah, our first 30 Tuesday bouquet. So we're celebrating people who we feel should be celebrated, and our first woman up is Loretta Devine.
Hmm. I have a suggestion for another bouquet. Not a woman.
Mhm.
Delroy Lindo.
Yes, done. Done. Absolutely. I just saw like 50 different scenes of different movies of him pass in my head. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he needs a bouquet.
Word.
Well, I guess
Good.
that's our stream, huh?
Guess so. I can't
It's
wait to
been
go
a
to bed.
pleasure as always. I know. So excited.
Happy birthday
I'm
to
not even
us.
gonna stay. I'm not even gonna stay up and eat cake.
Yeah, if I didn't have to take off makeup, that would be it for me.
Yeah.
Oh well. Responsibilities and pores.
Well, good night, everybody. It was a pleasure.
As
Thank you for
always.
tuning in. Bye. Unstream.